So Europe's oldest known person, Sister Andre, at 117 years old, survived COVID-19. Sister Andre will celebrate her victory against the virus and her 117th birthday on Thursday with a feast and a glass of champagne. What a great story. When I read the article, it said Sister Andre didn't feel the disease, so she wondered a lot why we were talking about the coronavirus every day and why she couldn't receive visits from us at the nursing home or from relatives or fellow residents, Mr. Tavella added. On Wednesday, most of the nursing home residents were out of isolation and Sister Andre was readying herself for her birthday. So she didn't even feel the virus and was wondering why she couldn't see residents. First off, congratulations on surviving the virus. That's an amazing story. Second off, isolation and not seeing people has an effect. Recently, the New York Post reported that a Texas boy at 12 hangs himself after battling depression amid COVID-19. There's dozens of stories of elderly people literally dying because they said isolation was too much to bear. And despite how much mainstream media, politicians, and big tech try to sweep this under the rug, there are real-life consequences and real-life deaths being had because of government and corporate forcing of these psychotic regulations. The Washington Post reported that the pandemic pushes hundreds of millions of people towards starvation and poverty. The Guardian reported COVID set to cause 400,000 surge in tuberculosis death as medics are diverted. Millions of misdiagnoses will add to the global pandemic toll. So now when people die because of their psychotic and sloppy regulations, it's just the pandemic toll, it's not them. But even though somebody at 117, Europe's oldest known person, survived without feeling it, you're not allowed to even question if the ends justify the means. I'm not saying the virus isn't real, I think it is. But I don't believe that lockdowns, quarantines, and treating everybody like slaves, prisoners, and criminals for simply existing is worth it. In fact, if you look at the data of Florida versus New York and New Jersey, I would say it's pretty clear that lockdowns, mask mandates, and total tyranny has an obvious negative effect, not just on mental health and psychological health, which of course makes a huge difference, but in other ways too. But you're not even allowed to say that. Just accept your new status as a slave, or else you will be banned and barred from society and social media, and blacklisted from most corporations, so you won't even be able to make a living at a certain point. And let me just remind you that there's been 3 times as many overdoses in San Francisco than there have been COVID deaths. And of course, more people are overdosing because of the psychological effects of being treated like a prisoner, not being able to see people's smiles or have a social life, but they don't care. We're just peasants now, and speaking out will get your career ruined. Take Gina Carano, for example. Lucasfilms fired her over offensive social media posts. So what was so offensive that she said? Well, according to CNN, she won't appear in any future Star Wars projects after she shared offensive social media posts, including one that compared Nazi Germany to the current political landscape. Wait, you're not supposed to compare Nazi Germany to the current political landscape? Is that not what major media figures, politicians, and millions of people on social media were doing from 2016 to 2020? I'm pretty sure that's all they were doing. Trump is Hitler. Trump is making concentration camps at the border, they said. Interestingly enough, one of those people who made that comparison was Pedro Pascal from the same Mandalorian show that Gina just got fired for. He said, "This is America. Germany 1944, America 2018. Except he's so fake and sloppy that he didn't even do the research to realize that those were Palestinian children waiting to receive donated food at a soup kitchen, and those pictures were almost a decade old, so they had nothing to do with the border. And what shocks me the most is when they demonize ICE and border security, do people not realize that a lot of what they do is human and child trafficking? So they use race as the big scapegoat. It's racist, it's racist. Meanwhile, what they're doing when they limit ICE and border security is making it easier for human and child traffickers to get away with human and child trafficking. It's a huge problem, and somehow liberal media never seems to care about it. Project Lincoln, big anti-Trumpers, got caught in a big scandal recently with their co-founder, but you probably haven't even heard about it because that's what they do, sweep it under the rug when there is no political advantage to it. James Gunn made offensive pedophile jokes and he got rehired for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because they're not offended when their political allies do stuff that's 10 times as bad as what Gina Carano did. They're allowed to falsely relate things to Nazi Germany all they want. But if Gina has the gall to talk about lockdowns, slave treatment, and one of the most psychotic human rights abuses in modern history that's coming in the form of public health, if you even dare talk about it, they'll blacklist you. Oh, that really proves that they're not acting like these regimes of the past. Way to convince nobody outside of your small bubble of yes men. Pretty much proving her point right. But don't worry, you probably won't see my videos soon because Facebook will start showing some users less political content. They're testing it now in Canada, Brazil, and Indonesia. It'll be expanded in the United States soon if it hasn't already. But content content from government agencies and official services will be exempt from the change. What does that mean? Well, now that Joe Biden is president, their puppet is in office, they don't want you to critique the president. They don't want you to even think about politics. Just go back to listening to Trevor Noah and Jimmy Kimmel softball Joe Biden and make you think he's a little plushy teddy bear. Meanwhile, accounts like me, who've gained a large following because I'm more honest, more calm, more reasonable, and way more fair than most mainstream media on the left and the right, they'll just take away my reach so you'll never be able to know another opinion besides what they tell you. Isn't that just convenient? We know exactly what they're doing. God bless Gina, especially because she follows me on Twitter and Instagram, so you know she has good taste. But God bless everybody who knows exactly what they're doing, doesn't feel right about this new miserable slave treatment where we can't even gather or see people's faces, and they want to drag it out for years upon years. This is no way to live, folks. And when you have Europe's oldest woman surviving it and even complaining like I am, saying I wanted to see people, wondering why she couldn't see people, wondering why she couldn't feel it. We citizens should be allowed to disagree with the lockdowns and the state of what's going on. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm just saying I don't think what they're doing justifies what they say it is. And I know it's not. You know what this smells like, Pitbull?
Which to me smells like communism.
Right.
Exactly. They're using it to consolidate power, to control all communication, to control transport, like the airline industry, to shut anybody off from corporate society that dares stand up to them. That's what they're doing. Just this week, Project Veritas, James O'Keefe, and Robert F. Kennedy were axed as well. And they're just going to keep going down the line. And even their supporters who think what they're doing is so great, the second that you disagree with them, like a lot of the left-wing Robinhood users, they're going to do the same thing to you because it's all about power and way less about the greater good than you actually think. That's what I think. Let me know what you do. God bless you. Appreciate you. Thank you to everybody supporting at patreon.com/raretalk. Thank you to everybody signing up at t.me/dreamrarechat. That's my Telegram chat. Or just search Dream Rare Chat. You should be able to find it. It's a good way around censorship. Thanks to everybody checking out the pink hats at dreamrare.com and the shirts. And I'll be back with more videos soon, as long as I have a platform. God bless you.